Hello students, we are discussing about looping statements. We have already discussed about entry controlled loop and exit controlled loop. We have seen the while loop and do while loop. While loop was an entry controlled loop and do while loop was an exit controlled loop. For loop is also an entry controlled loop. We can see what is mean by this for loop. The for loop is an entry controlled loop statement that provides a more concise loop control structure. Okay, it is an entry controlled loop structure. For loop will execute a set of statements repeatedly if condition is true. Okay, for loop will execute a set of statements repeatedly if the condition is true. We can see the syntax. This is the syntax for loop. It contains three sections: initialization, test condition, increment or decrement. Okay, then body of the loop. So here we have the four statement syntax is for in brackets. The first part is initialization section. So it contains semicolon there, then test condition, then semicolon, then increment. That is the format. You have to note that in each section, after each section it contains semicolon. That is after initialization section there is a semicolon, and after test condition then there is a semicolon, then increment or decrement section, then bracket closing, then starting curly bracket, then body of the loop. Okay, so this is the syntax of for loop. Then we can see each section of this for loop syntax. The first one is initialization section, next one test condition, then increment or decrement. So the execution is as follows. You can see here, you can see in the initialization section, initialization of the loop control variable is done first. Initialization of loop control variable. Okay, first we have to do the initialization of loop control variable. That is by using assignment statements such as I equal to 1, then count equal to 0, like that. So here the initialization part consists of initialization of counter variable or the control variable I equal to 1, count equal to 0, like that. They are included in the initialization section. Okay, then second we will do the value of the control variable is tested using the test condition. So second thing we have to do is the value of control variable will tested then by using the test condition. The test condition is a relational expression such as I less than 10 that determines when the loop will exit. Okay, that is a condition which will determine when the loop will be exit. If the condition is false, the control will go out of the loop. Otherwise, the body of the loop will be executed. And so here the value of control variable is tested using the test condition. So what is the test condition? Test condition is a relational expression such as I less than 10 that determines when the loop will exit. If the condition is false, the control will go out of the loop. That has to be done next. And next, check whether if the condition is true. If the condition is true, executes the body of the loop. Okay, execute the body of loop. Then increment or decrement the control variable. Next has to do increment or decrement the control variable. Then again the condition is evaluated, and if it is true, the process repeats. That is, first what you have to do? First the initialization procedure has to done. That is, the control variable is initialized first. Okay, by using assignment operator, assignment statements such as I equal to 1, count equal to 0. Then next what have to do? Next have to check the test condition, that is the condition on that counter variable or a control variable. Check the condition that will given in the for loop, such as I less than 10. If the condition is false, then it will never enter to the body of the loop, it will exit the loop. If the condition is true, then the body of the loop will be executed and next increment or decrement the control variable. Okay, body of the loop executed, and then next one has to do is it will increment or decrement the control variable. Then again the condition will be checked, and if the condition is true, then the body of the loop will be executed, then increment or decrement operation performed, like that it will repeat. So if the condition is true, it will execute the body of the loop repeatedly until the condition is false. So that is the working of for loop. So it contains 3 parts: initialization, then test condition, then what? Increment or decrement control variable. Okay, so these are the 3 parts of for loop. We can see the flow chart of for loop. So here you can see there is an initialization part, then it will check the condition, and if it is true, then set of statements inside the body of the loop will be executed. After that, increment or decrement operation performed, then it will check again the condition, then it repeats if the condition is true. If the condition is false, then go out of the loop. Okay, so that is happening in the case of for loop. So next we can see the example for loop. We have seen the example of sum of 1 to 10 numbers in the case of while and do while. Similarly, how we can apply or how we can find the sum of 1 to 10 numbers by using for loop. It's very simple. So here see the difference. So here we are changing that statements like for I equal to 1. This is the initialization. In previous while statement we have seen that I initialized here, but here this is initialized here. So for I equal to 1, I less than or equal to 10, I plus plus. Okay, then sum equal to sum plus I, then printf sum is equal to percentage d sum. Okay, so here only some lines of statements are there. It will reduce the line of statements in the case of for loop. So here you can see that is included like this: for, then 3 parts: initialization, then test condition, then next one increment or decrement section. Okay, so these are the parts of for loop. So here it applied like this. So I equal to 1, it will check I less than or equal to 10, then it will go inside the loop, then sum is equal to sum plus 1 will be performed, and again it will increment I. So I is equal to 2, then it will check I less than or equal to 10, then sum equal to sum plus 2, then I incremented, then I less than or equal to then I incremented, now it's I 3, then 3 will be compared to 10, 3 less than or equal to 10 is true, so sum is equal to sum plus 3, like that it will continue like that. When it reaches I is equal to 11, it will compare with 10. So this statement will, this condition will be false. In that case, then it will go out of the loop. So goes here and printf sum is equal to, then it will print the sum. So this is happens in the case of for loop. So we can see the output is, the sum is 55. Okay, then another example we have discussed was sum of first and natural numbers. Here also we can see what happens. Here also the difference is the I initialization step is here, then the condition checked, then the increment operation. So here you can see I equal to 1, then it will check I less than or equal to n. If you are entering n as 10, then it will check less than or equal to 10, then it will execute the statement sum is equal to sum plus I, then increment I, then go to the condition again, then check and execute body of the loop and continue like that. So after the condition becomes false, it will go out of the loop, that is here, and print the sum. Okay, that's happening in the case of for loop. So what will be the output here? Here the output is enter the value of n, then it will enter 10. So the sum is 55. So that is happening in the case of for loop. So we have seen different types of looping statements. What are they? While loop, do while loop, and for loop. So mainly these looping statements are classified into two: entry controlled loop and exit controlled loop. In entry controlled loop, the condition will be checked in the entry part, that is only when the condition is true, then it execute the body of the loop. Repeatedly execute the body of the loop until the condition becomes false in the case of entry controlled loop. In the case of exit controlled loop, the condition will be checked only after executing the body of the loop, that is exit controlled loop. So we have studied while loop, do while loop, and for loop. While loop and for loop are entry controlled loop. Do while loop is exit controlled loop. So what are the differences in while and do while? In while, first condition is checked, and if the condition is true, body of the loop executed, then it continues. But in the case of do while, the body of the loop is executed first, then only to check the condition. If it is true, then repeatedly execute the body of the loop. So that is in the case of do while statement. So in the case of do while statement, at least once, even if the condition is false, the body of the loop will be executed. Okay, then you have already seen the difference in do while loop. While after while condition there is a semicolon. Okay, so you note that. Then we have discussed what for loop. For loop has three parts: initialization, then test condition, increment or decrement. So that are the differences between while, do while, and for. So these are the different looping statements in C. So that's all. Thank you.